viewing party at PAX East. People all around the country getting excited for this showdown between 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. And right now, Liquid is putting on one hell of a show, 2-0 so far in this best of 5. They've taken us to match point here in game number 3.
There have just been fireworks all series long so far, and it's only been 2 games. Pobelter, especially in that last one. The Azir, once again, a great performance, but this time, those huge plays that he was able to create with the Azir, shuffling the entire team back.
Yeah, that shuffle is one that people are going to remember. In the finals, you make those plays, you make those moments happen. That is what gets you the championship there. Pobelter already has a championship to his name in the past, but remember, this guy, way back in the day, he won one with Counter Logic Gaming. Then he was benched after winning it for who he finds himself here on the cusp of winning another championship.
And talking about winning that championship with Counter Logic Gaming, you're talking about 2015 summer, you're talking about Madison Square Garden, and what a lot of people at home or watching from here might not even know, that's the last time we got to see a new banner fly above the North American LCS. It's been 2.5 years since a new team has won the title, and here today, one of these teams will get rid of that streak.
It's going to be huge for either one of these teams. Team 100 Thieves obviously looking to put on the rally caps and come back, get the reverse sweep going, but it looks difficult. If you rewind all the way to game number 1, though, they remain proactive. This is not a team that sits back and slowly loses the game. This is a team that continually looks to try and create their own openings. It's just that Team Liquid have had the better answers.
And you think about even the start to game 2, invading the jungle for a full 3 minutes, staying there, trying to make something happen. It's a situation that you almost never encounter in scrims or in actual games, and that's one that TL were able to actually adapt to, get the buff themselves, and that means that 100 Thieves kind of shot themselves in the foot there with that one. So they have to kind of go back to the drawing board, figure out what they're going to do in this 3rd game here, and kind of clean out their mind of the last 2 and not have it affect them.
Well, the time for experimentation and trying something out, hoping it works, is over for 100 Thieves. It's do or die now. No more losses available. No more that you can give away and try to correct for in the next game. This is it. The split for both teams could end right here. If Liquid walks away with a win, we'll see 100 Thieves continue to ban away that Tahm Kench. They're going to ban away the Trundle as well. They're not playing against that here again.
Blue side Trundle ban, that is bad news for the series here, because TL, they were the ones who banned it in game 1 when they were on red side. So 100 Thieves are showing they're not going to first pick that Trundle there for Meteos.
Meteos not as interested in the Trundle as we saw Xmithie be there in game number 2. Very successful on it as well. We saw a lot of good pillars, a lot of big ultis that enabled the picks to come through. Liquid will ban out the Swain and the Gangplank again now. We'll see none of those this series.
I just expect it's because they're looking for more for Cody Sun in the draft phase early.
Again, though, there's still a lot of questions surrounding the mid lane here. Pobelter has performed extremely well. They talked about it a bit on the analyst desk. It's not just, oh, that big flashy play that he made. The pressure that he's outputting on Ryu have taken away a lot of options for 100 Thieves.
Ooh, and the Cassio ban instead of the Azir ban, so this means that they're most likely going to go for something like Ryze in their 2nd phase here and kind of cut off that counter of the Cassio that you would pick early on. But this might just be leaving Zion Rakan up again, which we saw in game 1, not in game 2. We'll see if TL kind of bite that one.
Team Liquid will ban out Olleh as that last ban. Xmithie has not played Olleh yet at all this split. They're not interested in grabbing it for themselves. They know Meteos plays it, so they'll just remove it from the pool as the Thieves go for Caitlyn before anything else.
But now that the Caitlyn's been taken, the Skarner should be given over to Xmithie if Team Liquid would like to take that one from Meteos. We know that Meteos has this huge preference for the champion. That is going to be the cost of this Caitlyn, of 100 Thieves, putting their comeback in the hands of Cody Sun.
And to be honest, I actually kind of like this or okay with this for Meteos, because his Skarner wasn't able to find a lot of viability in the last 2 games. The agency was very low for him. So something like a Zac, the classic for him going back, is something I would expect to see here from Meteos, so that he has that long engage range. And one of the guys who's a big shot caller and big leader for the team alongside aphromoo, I'm looking for the engage here, because they're the ones who need to step up when it's triple match point.
I mean, Team Liquid playing these hyper carries in both the mid lane and the bottom lane. This will be the 3rd game now we see them use this Azir for Pobelter. It's just been impossible for Meteos' Skarner to get back there and find those value pulls. This time around, he's going to be on the Sejuani. He's going to have some more reach with those ultimates and those engages, and we'll see how that works out for him here.
Yeah, with the Sejuani, you're going to be a little bit behind as far as the clear speed and the rush to level 6. So you have to get a little creative in how your team wants to work around the slight difference in the level 6 power spike.
Yeah, typically forces the Azir to go cleanse in the mid lane so he can't have a second summoner spell that really affects the laning phase. But also another thing to look out for is that the Sejuani's reach and Doublelift, I would be surprised. The Jhin is something that he picked up, showed off against Cloud9, and it was fantastic.
Talked to a bunch of AD carries actually, and they all talked about how good Doublelift's Jhin actually is. Whereas a lot of people are like, oh, don't do much damage to tanks. Doublelift always seems to have the extra pressure. He did show it off, as you said, previously in playoffs, and gonna be at the wheel once again.
Locked in here today, but it is an immobile AD carry. So if Xmithie can't possibly start things off with a good grab for his team, that leaves an opportunity for Meteos to find some of that CC onto Doublelift to get things going for the Thieves.
And one of the things about the theory of the Jhin into Caitlyn is the Jhin setup for ganks and the Jhin, play creation. Basically, you have this long-range ultimate, you have W snares that you can try and use, and you want to punish the Caitlyn in the mid game where she has that little dip. In lane phase, she has the extra range. It starts out very strong, but until she gets the crit multipliers through, Jhin will have an area of the game with a little bit more influence.
And another thing I keep hearing about is Jhin plus Ornn. If you can get that combination, the engage is just insane. So expecting that as the ban here.
AD carries, mid laners, junglers. Symmetrical draft so far between the teams. That means it's top laners and supports that we're going to see targeted in the bans, and 100 Thieves picking up exactly what you're talking about there, Zyrene, saying we don't want anything to do with the Jhin-Ornn combination. They'll ban that one away.
And now I would expect Cho'Gath potentially, because TL have just been showing they don't want to deal with Ssumday's Cho'Gath. It allows him to steal objectives. It allows them to secure objectives faster. And 100 Thieves on these Barons, they have been a bit deciding this series.
Yeah, it's been insane. Xmithie for a long time, for most of his career, has been so good with those smites. So if you don't have your 1,000 true damage feast to steal it away from him, then good luck.
Well, that luck is what they'll probably need a little bit of this game, because with the Cho'Gath banned away, that is one of those comfort picks the Thieves will not be able to fall back to. Sion, the final ban for 100 Thieves here in Game 3. Liquid once again thinking about maybe denying that Braum from aphromoo, but thinking also about the Camille.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they decided to try and take all of the tanks away from Impact here. We've seen teams try and ban so many against him, even though he still has shown things like the Singed.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because things like Shen are now on the table, and those affect the bottom lane. I think a Shen would be a very good pick here for either team to come through.
100 Thieves will have to pick their last two champions here and leave room for Liquid to have that red side last pick, counter pick opportunity. Thieves will not be able to grab the Braum for aphromoo, but they'll go with another big playmaker instead. aphromoo on the Thresh for match point.
We'll see if he can make the change that 100 Thieves need. The other thing being on blue side here, you're going to have to early pick the matchup for Ssumday, so you can't wait for the Shen and then try with your counter, with your Darius or whatever you're trying to push with. He's just going to have to go with something more versatile so that he's not boxed in.
Yeah, the neutral pick of the Gnar just for some lane presence. It is Ssumday's most played throughout the split. We'll see, because comfort now, 100 Thieves, if that's what they're going for, it's what they need in spades here. Ryu, once again, on that Ryze, Ssumday on that most played Gnar, and aphromoo on a playmaker with the support Thresh.
And it does show the possibilities of 100 Thieves trying to play towards a 1-3-1 composition with a Gnar if you can get him ahead and a Ryze in the side lanes. But with the hovers right now, Impact was saying, you think I could play only tanks, huh? Okay,
well, here's another new tank. I can't just play tanks, I can play more tanks, baby. Maokai locked in for the top lane for Team Liquid
and Impact,
to be that front line.
Impact, it goes way back in history. Everybody knows about his Maokai, but he has not played a single game of Maokai this split, whipping it out here in the finals. He always has that thing kind of polished in his back pocket, ready to pull it out when it's necessary.
I mean, we talked about the pocket pick for Olleh and the Morgana, playing it even when it's not meta, doing that in game number 2. Now we're seeing Impact do the same thing with the Maokai here in game number 3. Team Liquid trusting its players, even though these picks may not be top priority according to the global rankings or whatever metric you want to measure them by. They're saying this works for us. Let's play that game.
Exactly. Whether it's something where you're comfortable on, but also you're picking for the team. If you pick something like Camille, it may not be to his strengths, but it's a stronger counter to Gnar. He says, I don't need the counter. It's time to play for the team, which TL has been doing all split long, especially that second half.
I would say that Maokai is a slower moving tank than, you know, the Scion with the ultimate coming through or the long-range Ornn ultimate. And Team Liquid have shown this propensity for heavy travel time, having everybody moving around the map to create the plays. So that might slow the game down a tiny bit.
Liquid have done it twice so far today, and if they find one more win here, that will be it. They will be the Spring Split champions, and they would love to do it in the style of a clean sweep. But 100 Thieves could go for the biggest dream of all and start the reverse sweep journey here. But they've got to flip that switch into the on position. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The time is now. There are no more chances.
And no matter what happens, history will be made.
New flag to fly in the battle arena, a new name to add to the list of TSM, Cloud9, and Counter Logic Gaming on the exclusive list of those who have managed to put a North American LCS championship title under their belt.
Yeah, you gotta have a banner to be in the Champions Club. And one of these two teams will join it, but TL right now, large advantage. Right, in terms of like 2 games up, that has to weigh on 100 Thieves mentally, but also for yourself, it allows you to take more risks, to go for more kind of bravado-esque plays.
100 Thieves will defend the entrance to their own jungle right now in the bottom side. Team Liquid trying to push up into this territory. Remember, with Skarner on the map, you always have those spires to fight over.
And on the top side, it looks like they're just trying to take that one spire for themselves with Ssumday and Meteos. And maybe Spot, yeah, if Ssumday sticks around, he may see Xmithie, and he'll see him on the top side.
Yeah, we will have no level 1 invade this time around. No 4-minute red buff taken.
Meteos is saying, look, guys, I love setting Cody Sun up as much as anybody does, but being level 1 at 3.5 minutes into the game felt pretty bad, so we're going to skip out on this one this time.
Yeah, but in fact, they actually make it so Cody Sun and aphromoo are a little late to that bottom lane, so Doublelift and Olleh, you expect them to have the push advantage for level 2.
Yeah, coming in there with Caitlyn, though. Cody Sun going to be able to dodge out the first Q from Olleh, and they don't miss any minions. We'll be there just in time.
Cody Sun, we've talked so much about this guy being the rookie in the middle of a bunch of veterans and a ton of experience between these two rosters, and how that doesn't matter when this team puts so much faith in him. And if there's ever a time to step up and prove yourself, it's now.
This is his 3rd split, his 2nd championship, but in the face of all these veterans, like you said, he does seem like the rookie here, but they trust him. They give him so much in terms of resources. They first picked his Caitlyn here, said, we're gonna set you up, and aphromoo alongside him just always tries to make it happen. Has a large percentage of his team's damage, 40%. With all their games.
And aphromoo, this playmaker, this guy who a lot of times in the Thieves wins, you're looking at those support plays that he makes as, okay, that is why they won right there. You can go through a highlight reel of this guy's plays. On a Thresh, that's the kind of champion you can do that on here in game 3.
Yeah, what that would look like would be either a hook pulling them onto a Caitlyn trap. You always want to coordinate your crowd control abilities. You can also play them. You have to be very careful, though, because of the movements that Thresh's abilities have towards your opponents. The Caitlyn has to expect those and coordinate with the Thresh to be able to get those 2 combo. If they do, though, it will be devastating.
So a hook fly out there, barely missed Doublelift, just grazed past him a little bit. The very end of that hook hitbox is a little bit wider than the rest of it. So Doublelift just a step closer might have got grabbed, but he's respecting what aphromoo can do. He's played with this guy too much to not respect him at this point.
Definitely a lot of mutual respect among all the players in this game. One of the most experience-packed games. Tons of stage experience on both sides. But we were just about to talk about the top side and how Ssumday is whittling down Impact. Yes, he has the minion wave pushed up, and Impact has already had to use his potion. Xmithie now is top side, but revealed by the ward, so Ssumday shouldn't overextend.
Yeah, and if Ssumday does push up, though, he'll have the Mega Gnar, and Meteos is also on this side. But look at that. Transform!
Impact's in some trouble, looking to get away. Ssumday, big barely misses out on the kill.
Just by the tail there, it gets away.
But Meteos is here.
Meteos is thinking, okay, I might be able to grab him here. Meteos stopping Xmithie, preventing this counterattack from Team Liquid. Can they go in, find the kill? One more auto attack will do it. That's first blood over to Ssumday, and it might be second as well.
Oh my goodness!
Impact is stunned up. Chop Meteos tree. A double kill for Ssumday.
Oh, the top lane power of Ssumday using the Gnar, whittling down Impact. They get the jungle kill, and then the teleport is completed by Impact in the middle of the lane.
He is going to be so behind off that, and Ssumday with both kills, with his TP still up, might be able to take over this game.
The rally coming just in the nick of time for 100 Thieves as they start this one out with a huge difference maker. You think right there, oh, that just barely got away from them. Ssumday's going to be so disappointed, but he runs back into the bush here. Meteos is already waiting for the counter. They bait in Xmithie, and they get the chase down. Immediately flashes to continue.
That was such a great flash from Meteos as well. He got the second part of his W to actually give the fourth stack there onto the Skarner to get the stun. Last game, we saw that Meteos was going towards the bottom side a bit. The flash was blown top. He wasn't really going towards that top side. It looked like he maybe should have gone after Impact more, and he's doing it this game.
Being where he was great foresight from Meteos there, playing towards that top side, and even towards the end of the split for 100 Thieves, when the story about this team was so much Cody Afro, Cody Afro, Cody Afro, they're saying, okay, we're going to play towards Ssumday. We're going to show you that we've got a bullet in both barrels, and we can fire from either one.
Exactly, that's the one they can pull out when they're really kind of desperate. We saw when the Darius was picked. You can't just leave that alone. They camped for it, and right now this Gnar is set up for success.
Ryu now roams up on Ryze. He's level 6. They close in on the level 4 at Impact.
No teleports available to help Impact here. The slam back in the wall. More chain CC coming through. Impact taken low. Ssumday taken lower. Meteos comes up now as well. Impact will buy as much time as he can. But it's 1-for-1. Too much greed from Ssumday.
Oh, Ssumday walks back in there, even though Meteos also came up. So that was all these members of 100 Thieves focusing on the top side to continue to try and kill Impact. In the end, they give up bottom side control. Xmithie's trying to take away this dragon.
The Drake by Skarner, that's a big thing. We talked about how he can solo it. That would be a nice consolation prize for Liquid there. But 100 Thieves is going off on this top part of the map with the focus.
Yeah, going off on the top side of the map, setting up Ssumday. He just used his TP to get back, has a very large CS lead, almost 20 up. But right now, they're going to try to counter on the bottom side. Here comes Xmithie.
Xmithie going in, Olleh using the flash, Cody Sun using his own, looking to get away here, popping the heal. And when the fracture misses, the play is done. Cody walks away.
Yeah, Xmithie doesn't have his flash, and he also doesn't have the level 6, so they can't continue it. But double summoners have been blown from Cody Sun. Let's take another look at the top lane play here, and we can go over how Ssumday went back in.
No, we can't. Or we can watch another play being made onto Impact, who's got another visit from that enemy jungler. Going to be chased underneath. His tier 2 help is coming, but is it coming fast enough? It will be to make this a 1-for-1. Meteos going to be turned into a nice sliced ham underneath the enemy turret, and Xmithie will grab himself a kill.
With this dying breath, Impact goes back in and knocks him closer to the turret for Xmithie to be able to use the Skarner ultimate and pull him in for the counter kill. In the end, though, still, the top turret is going to fall, and 100 Thieves' top side is getting out of control. We said in Champion Select the possibilities of a 1-3-1 strategy from 100 Thieves.
24 CS right now for Impact. Not only has he died 3 times, he hasn't been given enough breathing room to farm. This Thieves focus is out of control. Let's take a look again.
Meteos hit level 6, goes to the top side. He even has camps up in his own top side jungle. But Ryu is on his way. Ryu keeps kind of going towards this top side. If a play were to be reinforced, he will be in attendance. He is constantly doing this, and they are playing towards that top side. We thought it would be a bottom side focus. They're switching it up. They're going for the surprise game here, and they are destroying Impact.
And Take a look on your screen right now. Can 100 Thieves push this into Game 4? Spam the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you happen to be enjoying these games from. Hit the chat with 100 win or TL win right now to let us know what you think is going to happen at the end of this one. We'll be tracking those votes and seeing exactly how it plays out. But 100 Thieves are off to their best start yet in this series. 2,500 gold up, 9 minutes in.
2,500 gold, and pretty much all of that is on Ssumday in the top lane there. He's also potentially having a freeze towards him because he had bounced it off of the turret correctly when he dropped it. He waited, let it kill all the minions.
Now, when you're faced with a freeze like this against a super fed opponent, you have no chance of going up to them. You have two options. You can either roam to the other side of the map to play, or Ssumday actually pushes it forward and Doublelift opens up.
The curtain call is out. Cody Sun looking to get away. Pobelter with another great shuffle. Cody Sun is down. aphromoo likely to follow the deadly flourish from downtown, and Pobelter grabs the second.
Pobelter with the alley-oop here shoves him right into range of the ultimate from Doublelift, who lands the 4-shot there. They secure the kills, and the bottom side of the map is now Team Liquid's power play.
Liquid says, you want to go towards the top side? Fine. We're going to play towards the bottom side. This is how we find our wins, and they get two.
And this was all orchestrated off the fact that they were handing the blue buff off to Ryu. They know that Meteos is on the top side, they know Ryu's on the top side, and that allows Pobelter to roam and get to that bottom side before any answer can come through.
But now that big lead for 100 Thieves. Ssumday in the mid lane, pushing that one down as Team Liquid continues to push towards this tier 1. They may need to get away very soon. Ryze ulti going to be coming through. Ryu shows up, forced to immediately flash back, but it's Xmithie who's got the punish on 100 Thieves mid laner. Olleh barely getting himself away from this one. They won't be able to catch him out and punish him. Pobelter coming in from the side, and the Thieves have found themselves in a very precarious spot. They retreat, but they lose Ryu.
Olleh actually survives that. Ryu takes his own realm warp and immediately has to flash back out, but Xmithie pulls him right back in for the kill.
It's just a better TP from Impact. He's been shut down all game. He gets to TP off here afterwards, but this is the kills before. Pobelter was roaming after they handed off the blue buff on the other side. They catch Cody Sun with the shots and the shuffle, and then they get both, and they get to pressure the bottom. But the scene of the crime, it happens again. The TP comes through. There is no answer from Ssumday because he can't actually lay one down right now.
Yeah, Ssumday was trying to walk with the team. You know, all of 100 Thieves were roaming down here, but a couple of seconds apart, whereas all of Team Liquid grouped up. So the 3-man squad here just strikes immediately. They get the kill, and even though Impact is down like 30 CS, his teleport screens enough time for them to grab that kill.
And just as we were talking earlier about how 100 Thieves is 2,500 gold up, it's their best start yet. Liquid immediately responds and equalizes. The turrets are tied, the gold is close, and this team is still fighting back.
All right, so for 100 Thieves, they're the ones down 2-0 in this series. They need to continue to play to their strengths if they want this series to continue. They've got a fed Gnar. Ssumday can create tons of pressure in the side lane for them to work off of.
And so right now, what you would expect them to do is potentially play for a Rift Herald around it. He has Black Cleaver completed. You can shove that top lane wave up to the tier 2, give yourself a lot of space, and go for a Rift Herald for 100 Thieves. But the Infernal Drake is on the table in 40 seconds, so they've kind of missed that window here.
Those Infernals can be so important. Again, Team Liquid, full Drake control this series. It's Impact who's in some trouble right now, but he's got backup coming, and Ssumday needs to get the hell out of town. As Xmithie shows up here, doesn't land the fracture, gets thrown back by the Gnar, still gonna be chain CC'd. The damage comes through, the ult is down, and despite the lead, Ssumday is out of there.
3 members from Team Liquid head top, and there's still 12 seconds left on the Drake before it spawns, so they have plenty of time to actually correct after the commitment there. That is a huge stopper.
A great call from Team Liquid. Thieves cannot immediately punish. They're thinking about maybe trying to set something up down here now, but Team Liquid has rotated everybody down. Just like you said, they had the time to move towards the Drake pit, and it's Ssumday who's still dead for another few seconds. TP is up though.
Exactly, he has TP, but because Impact doesn't, he's already in attendance. There's no ultimate for Xmithie or Impact. If you want to fight this as 100 Thieves, this is one of the better fights that you might be able to take.
TP's being channeled, but it's going to be a little bit late. 100 Thieves still thinking about it. They're not able to go in for the Drake. They do land the ultimate down on the Doublelift, but there's no way to get to him. And 100 Thieves just end up spending the teleport to get nothing. Liquid maintains perfect Drake control.
They are left with a little bit of mid pressure here as they push up the wave. Team Liquid trying to get in place to defend, and it looks like they might even chase them off.
Ssumday being jumped on there by the Twisted Advance from Impact. Deadly Flourish coming in as well, but he walks himself away. Turret so incredibly low on health here. But 100 Thieves just doesn't have enough gas in the tank to finish it off. Let's take another look at this top lane play.
Yeah, it was just a great roam here from all of Team Liquid. And Ssumday, he has the flash, but decides not to spend it here, says he's just buying enough time, and they would just come after him anyway.
That was a goofy looking mini Gnar.
Yeah, he was just changing a big head.
Quite. I didn't actually realize he ballooned up that big when he transformed back and forth, but apparently that's a thing. Doesn't matter how big he is, though, they still brought him down, and Team Liquid is in a spot where they're so close in gold. They're actually likely ahead in terms of stats when you factor in what they've got in the Cloud Drake and the Infernal Drake. And now we're heading into the mid game. It's just about 15 minutes. This is where this team can start to look really scary.
Also Infernal Drake, plus it's on a Jhin, the best user of it in the entire game. So that gold will lie to you a little bit. I believe TL is a bit more ahead.
As great as the start for 100 Thieves was in this game, Team Liquid again with insane dragon control. They've got the Infernal and Cloud, and they've got themselves right back in to an even position now. So it's Team Liquid looking to actually pressure. If we check in on the wards and the vision here, they're the ones pressing in and going into 100 Thieves territory.
Team Liquid looking for this tier 1 turret. They managed to land some CC, some damage down into aphromoo, who still wants to hang around. Got Meteos with him to try to clear out some of these waves. Death Sentence won't find anyone. Meteos still going forward, throwing out the flail to clear the minions out. Turret just as low on the side of the Thieves as it is on Liquid.
And this is just so fluid from Liquid because 100 Thieves set up 1-3-1. Ryu on the top side with TP, and then they have their Gnar, Ssumday on the bottom side, who's been doing so well this game. But the 1-3-1 pressure hasn't been able to result in much. They're collapsing.
Ryu wants to get out of here. He knows that his opponents are coming for him. He does manage to make the escape in time.
Yeah, they communicate that there is a possible roam from the Skarner and the Braum to head up there, so he doesn't take the fight with Azir, gets himself out, and they've got a little bit more time.
That time will be spent pushing out waves in mid lane, just constantly having this battle back and forth, this pendulum swinging of whose turret's going to drop first, who's going to accidentally let just a little bit too much slide and give the AD carry a couple of shots.
Yeah, I think there's a little more pressure on TL because on the bottom side, they also have the kind of inevitability of that Gnar will get to this turret. This Gnar will deal some chip damage to it. So TL have to defend both their mid and their bottom turrets, whereas right now 100 Thieves really only have to care too much about their mid turret.
And Cody Sun is there. He's just trying to scale up on the Caitlyn, get some crit multipliers for his Infinity Edge. Ssumday does have to blow his flash this time around, or maybe even just a little preemptively there as soon as he saw any danger coming.
He remembered what happened the last time he got collapsed on in a side lane. Didn't want it happening there again. Cody Sun had to be careful a bit in mid lane as the Predator was used by Xmithie, trying to come in, find an opportunity to go after him there. No QSSs on either one of the carries for 100 Thieves. Want to make sure we point that out moving into this team fight phase, into the mid game. A big pull from Xmithie could just end a team fight outright.
Ooh, this right here is great from TL because there's no TP from Ssumday. He's going to have to walk all the way up if they even want to contest this, and by then it might already be gone.
If they do bite on this bait, then Impact could teleport behind here on one of these wards in the river. They do not take the bait, though, and Team Liquid will secure the objective.
100% neutral objective control by Team Liquid. Absolutely crazy by them this split. They have known how to play the map and control the rotations here.
Team Liquid, they have just been looking on point today. Everybody is playing well individually, but then when somebody kind of drops the ball, another person will step up to help them. Impact, he's basically been in a position where he's down half the CS of his lane opponent, but he keeps getting assistance. The team is behind everybody here. Afro is caught.
aphromoo pulled away. There's no way he's tanky enough to survive that one. Xmithie drags him straight into the waiting arms of the rest of the team, and that's a freebie for Liquid.
Another kill here for Team Liquid, and that's going to mean some map pressure. They're all pinging on Ryze now. Ryu's got to watch out.
Ryu doesn't have to worry about the Skarner ult. It was already expended, but there's a lot of damage and CC still coming his way. Even without it, he's going to be locked down. Looking to turn things back around. Pobelter taken low. Ooh. Ryu doesn't quite have the damage, and Team Liquid gets another.
That was so close. That's one of those fights afterwards you go, whoa, just 1v1 me. What was that? But Pobelter, like we were saying, TL, everybody is helping each other out here.
Pobelter roams up with Xmithie at his back. He's saving his ultimate, by the way, because the possibility of Ryze escaping. So then he knows, all right, there's no Ryze ultimate coming out now. I'm about to die. Uses it into the wall, barely lives.
Woo. That is a scary Ryze when he can almost make that happen 1 versus 2. That side lane push, that's that split push pressure you were talking about, those Irene, the 1-3-1. That's why this composition is so scary if you let it get working like that. But Liquid's been doing a good job rotating around and punishing the split.
And you can tell that TL have practiced against a 1-3-1. They have prepared for this knowing it is 100 Thieves' go-to strategy because 1-3-1s will typically kind of pull teams apart. Here, they keep rotating appropriately.
They're setting a trap right now, though. Meteos deep in the bush here behind Impact. And Ssumday facing him down.
But they were careful. They knew that the rest of Liquid was hanging around in the jungle, and they would end up getting trapped.
He's still in the brush over there.
He's a very patient man, and he will patiently wait while the enemy team secures yet another elemental Drake, because there's no way they can contest.
Patient man, patient pig.
I mean, I remember Meteos sitting in a bush for 3 minutes when he was playing Lee Sin back at Worlds. This man has patience in spades. He will wait forever to make a play like this happen.
Still just break the game. All right, Impact finally jumped on here, but he's still very close to his turret. Chilling Spike comes down. Meteos and Ssumday continuing to chase, but now Meteos, all that more gold to Pobelter.
Oh, patience not such a virtue in this case. As they end up diving the turret, Xmithie yoinks him even further in, and it just ends up in his death. That is crushing for 100 Thieves. The mentality right now, they're trying to rally, trying to hold strong, but Team Liquid have been just too good.
And now Meteos is 2 levels down in the jungle. Xmithie and Pobelter have just had a phenomenal series playing off each other. These guys won that Madison Square Garden Championship in 2015, and now they're looking for another.
Again, they're on to the Baron so very early, not even 21 minutes into the game. The Thieves know they have to stop this. Baron will go down, but the punish has got to be enormous. Ssumday walking away. Onto the front line goes Pobelter, not finding a lot with the shuffle this time around. aphromoo going to be sniped down. Ryu still looking to run away. Team Liquid in hot pursuit. They want to see if they can find anything, but they already got what they came for, and it's Baron on all 5.
Yep, they can reset with the Baron empowered recalls, collect all of the minion waves, and push once again towards the 100 Thieves base.
TL's neutral objective control has just been ridiculous in this series. They have gotten every single neutral objective in all 3 games, and to the point where they're like, we don't even know what to do with these anymore. Throws down the Rift Herald. This will help them with a push on a side lane, and then they can all group up and use that Baron buff.
Yeah, maybe they'll meet up with him later at the 100 Thieves base. Currently, though, Team Liquid sending most members down mid.
Pobelter is the Secret Service for Shelly, though. Got to protect her, make sure she gets where she needs to go, help take down that tier 1 turret.
Oh, they're all rotating. Everybody's joining the service.
We all know where this is going to lead. It'll be a battle somewhere in this top lane, likely not for the tier 1 because it's already gone. We'll see if the Thieves want to try to protect their tier 2 or if they just give that one away as well. Team Liquid will push further into Thieves territory on this. The soldiers put in position by Pobelter, ready to make a move if he can find it. Xmithie still looking for those pulls. That's another turret going down, no contest. Team Liquid takes every advantage and makes even more.
Well, they have Caitlyn traps to get through on this side, so they might want to rotate towards the mid lane. The last charge gonna go off.
Oh, Shelly makes her way into the turret before finally being taken down. She definitely did her job this time around.
Oh yeah, good night, sweet princess. And now they're gonna go towards that mid lane. Impact was already pushing it up. And this will be another turret for Team Liquid if they keep this siege up.
Turret dropping. Again, want to point out what I said earlier. No QSSs on these carries. Xmithie has the flash available on the Skarner. One big pull could be what ends this game. Cannon minion firing away with the Baron buff onto the tier 2. It doesn't have a banner on it. There is no banner yet completed for the side of Team Liquid, so they don't have that advantage. But the notorious POB continuing that split push. Now going to fall back as he buys enough time for his team.
Yeah, they're not looking for that banner of command. They're looking for that championship banner here for Team Liquid.
Xmithie gets himself grabbed. Deadly Flourish comes out. Pobelter over the wall with some damage here. Bound up by the Rune Prison. Going to be taken down below half HP. Ryu ensuring he's not able to make his way into the fight. Death sentence only onto a caster minion. Xmithie still looking for that ult. Doublelift and the rest of Liquid will now fall back just a little bit. Pobelter still injured here. Despite all the elemental Drake control they've had, Team Liquid still has no Ocean this game around. So there's not much regeneration there for Pobelter. He's got to be mindful.
They can stick around with the buff.
There goes Xmithie, able to go in, able to find the pull, destroys Ryu, and that's one of your carries already out of the picture. 100 Thieves in some trouble, going to be taken even lower. aphromoo already taken down. It's a double for Doublelift, and the Thieves are down. Liquid will look for the win right here.
24 minutes on the clock. This is one of the fastest series ever.
They are pushing on to Nexus turrets. They've still got 4 men strong. Pobelter went down, but they still seek the Nexus against Ssumday and Cody Sun. Impact goes in, tanks up the turrets for a while. He'll drop there. Ssumday's able to stay alive. And Liquid gets a little bit audacious here, apparently. Doublelift looking to find the damage. Can't get Cody. And they will not be able to end just yet.
Aphromoo's alive, and Ryu coming up in 1 second on the Ryze. They would have to get out of there, or else they would be chased down. But Team Liquid, the damage is done. They've broken inside the base, and the only pieces remain.
8K, 24 minutes in. That is a lead, and it's not one you can easily overcome. The Thieves are at the death knell.
100 Thieves. They have to find a miracle here for the TL. That was clean. You saw the pull in as Olleh threw down the ultimate at the same time to make sure, even though Ssumday gets a great one himself.
Yeah, at the end there, they're able to knock them into the inhibitor itself. Pobelter goes down there, which actually is quite big in 100 Thieves, keeping their Nexus alive.
This has just been an insane game. It started off with Ssumday getting 2 kills, starting off with 3. Down onto Impact, he was half the CS of this Gnar top, and then TL are able to rally, and the carries are now going crazy.
Exactly. It wasn't 100% win. This was a weakness for Team Liquid on one side of the map, yet still, they rally around the bottom side, create their own advantages, and just pull themselves back into it.
Mountain Drake #1 this game. I don't even know how many Drakes this is. This team has controlled now over the course of this series, but I do know it's all of them. They grab it, no contest. They're still up 8,000 gold. They've still got all the control they could ever want in this game, and now they'll push down the bottom lane. There's still a turret standing outside of the enemy base for them to take, and if 100 Thieves want to defend it, the defense has to be perfect.
Time is definitely running out for them. They're going to need to draw over Caitlyn, lay down some traps if they want to make a stand here. Luckily for them, as you said, you know, Ssumday still has the lead on Gnar, so the split push should be able to hold. The problem is, down here, the 4-man squad.
Yeah, the 4-man squad and that mid lane, the inhibitor being down, it's almost like another person is pushing mid for Team Liquid. It has to be answered. You can see Ryu, he pulls off, and that's why the rest have to back up.
Xmithie constantly threatening that pull. Nobody can afford to be pulled right now on 100 Thieves. Even the tanks, they're so far behind. If you get pulled, you're out.
Yeah, Ssumday even recalled early for a possible chance here for 100 Thieves to try and find an opening.
Oh, we got Doublelift. Doublelift in some trouble. That could be the pick right there that puts him back in the game. But Olleh on the front line, throwing up the unbreakable. Doublelift opens up the curtain call. aphromoo going to be shot 2 times, 3 times. Cody Sun's going to drop, and Team Liquid finds their fight. Ryu's on the run. The rest of Liquid following up. Olleh still on that front line.
They have minions
to end this game. The minions already on to the Nexus turrets. This could very well be where the game ends. Team Liquid, they had to stop a little bit short on the last push, but they've still got everyone here now. It continues. Ssumday's in the Mega Gnar form. He's got the ultimate, but what chance do you have against the 5-man team of Liquid? The pull comes through. The suppression is down. The Mega Gnar backwards, but it's not going to do a thing. Ssumday now the target on the front line. A double kill for Doublelift. Ryu is the last man standing, but he shall not stand for long. They've all been to the final stage before, and now they'll be there victorious together as Team Liquid are your North American LCS Spring Split champions.
In this historic first season of franchise play, Team Liquid will take their place amongst the old guard to be remembered forever.
And you can see everyone on stage absolutely elated at that victory, including the staff. They went through so much, a year of 9th place finishes to come out here as the champions. That is redemption for them, redemption for their fans, and proof that the decisions they made were the right ones.
The first team in 2.5 years to fly a new flag over the North American LCS. They do it in style, 3-0 over the next best team, and Team Liquid deserve this win here today.
We saw aphromoo hugging his old teammate Doublelift. There is honor among Thieves, but for Team Liquid, right now, they are the kings.
Ceremonious hoist of the trophy by the entirety of the team. What a moment for these guys. How much they've worked for this split. We talked about how those big off-season roster moves, everyone was hyped about them. Things looked a little rough along the way, but they rallied, they took down some of the top contenders during playoffs, and they found the win today.
And they made it look so good. 3-0 and a quick 3-0 here from Team Liquid. Even getting down at times in multiple games, and 100 Thieves having opportunities, creating opportunities.
Whew. And you can see Olleh dancing in the confetti. The man, everyone else on the team has a championship to their name in one league or another. Olleh has played in 4 different regions, and this is his first championship.
He's been to the stage before, but he's never got to hold that trophy. Now he does. It has to feel fantastic for him, as it does for the entirety of this team, to find what they found here today.
And now they'll represent North America at the mid-season invitational. And with a performance like that, with a 27-minute game, a 26 and a 29-minute game in the finals, a clean 3-0, that's what you want to see from the team that will be representing you at that tournament.
And like we said, this is the first time this team has ever won a split, which means this is their first time going as the North American representative at MSI.
Man, you see Doublelift on your screen, the first NALCS player to win 3 championships on 3 different teams.
To hear now about this historic victory, let's send it over to Olleh and Team Liquid's owner.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Liquid Steve. Congratulations on that victory. I mean, it has been 2 years since Liquid last made playoffs. Last year, you guys were fighting to avoid relegations. And now today, you lift the trophy, you've become the NALCS Spring Champions, and you will hoist a banner in the NALCS Battle Arena. What does it all mean?
This is just an incredible moment. I mean, I think more so than any other season and any other team, there's been such a sign of strength from these guys that is just inspiring. You know, these guys are so strong and they deserve every moment. And thank you to all the fans supporting Team Liquid and supporting the players. It's just incredible. It feels amazing.
This is a truly emotional win, I see, for you and for everyone here. I mean, for the team itself, how important is this victory?
You know, this victory means a lot. It's, I think, the first step of many steps. We built this team to really show that NA has a presence on the world stage. So this is the first step of many steps for us to do that. And I think we just hope that we can do NA proud at MSI, and that's the next step.
Lifting the trophy right there. And a lot of people had said spring split, all the success paid by Steve. But obviously a lot of the acquisition, it was more than just the acquisition. Tell me about the hard work that all of this team put together to get to where they are today.
Yeah, I mean, this team has obviously worked really hard, that goes without saying, but they've sacrificed so much. And I think one of the biggest and most inspiring things about this team is just the sign of strength. You know, from the community, it's just been like an outpouring of support for us. We had a rough patch in the middle of the split, and we just really pushed it into gear. And for the thousands of messages that we got from the community and all of our fans saying, you guys can do this, was just, it was so touching, so thank you.
Definitely a well-deserved win. Steve, congratulations again on your victory. Back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Olleh. Great to hear from Steve. I know he's been looking for this title for quite a long time. We'll hear from the rest of Team Liquid in just a moment. But before we do that, Mark, I want to turn to you, a guy who's worked closely with this organization.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason I'm here today is because Steve gave me the chance way back, and I worked with them for a while. And I don't think anyone cares more about this than him. Obviously, everyone on stage is going to love this, but he's always tried so hard, and I think he's had his mistakes. They've made some all over the years, but my first year there, like, we went through Zekent, Saint, Bunny, and, you know, Xpecial all in a row, and he's always a guy who's pushing his team as hard as he can possibly push them. It's great to finally see it pay off for him.
Very much deserved. Jap?
Yeah, and also the manner in which they did it. You look at their playoff run from quarterfinals to here, they're 9-1. Like, against the best teams in the league. 3-0 Cloud9, 3-0 Echo Fox, and 3 sub-30-minute games in the finals. This is as resounding of an NALCS champion as we've had, even though the split itself was so chaotic.
Breathe it in, Team Liquid and Team Liquid fans. It's a much-deserved championship title for you guys in the new system. But now I want to talk about how they did it in this third game here, because once again, throughout this series, we saw looks from 100 Thieves, opportunities to take it and to push them further. And it started very early on in this one, Azale. Top lane focus from 100 Thieves, and Impact having to deal with a lot of stuff being thrown his way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of bans kind of thrown the way of Impact. They get it in the draft, they get this advantageous matchup, and then they go top time and time again. Meteos lying in wait, and they're able to get somebody massively ahead, a double kill. And really, from here, you have to feel like the game was in 100 Thieves' hands.
Yeah, you expected it to be that way. It was level 6 versus level 4 by the time they try to redive up top lane, which doesn't quite go well. This is where it kind of started to fall apart for 100 Thieves.
Impact plays this brilliantly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that he's able to kind of absorb this pressure so often in so many games while the rest of his team is getting stuff done elsewhere on the map that they'll eventually answer back for. But the fact that, big mistake there by Ssumday, obviously, but well capitalized on.
Yeah, I mean, I think Impact is playing these as well as he possibly could have, but I also think, you know, Ssumday gave that one away, right? Even if you play it perfectly, you shouldn't be able to survive. And I think, you know, 100 Thieves, with the initial early lead that they had, it was a black cleaver to the biggest component that Impact had was a ruby crystal, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, at that point, I think you just leave this in isolation. You allow that to be a 1v1. You ward up for the top side, protect your top laner, but then you try to get your mid laner ahead. Then you try to help your other lanes because, you know, they weren't really ever able to keep that 1v1 and extend the advantage.
Right, and while we saw Team Liquid pick up a couple return kills in each of those skirmishes, we saw what that gold differential was in the top lane, up over 2K at just the 10-minute mark. From that point onward, you're thinking, hey, easy split push, 1-3-1 to victory, or hey, let's transfer that lead to another lane. But that's not what happens, and that's because of Pobelter and Xmithie working in tandem to get them back in it.
And I think it shows the resiliency of Team Liquid that they've had all playoffs as well. They had a 7,000 gold deficit in the quarterfinals against Cloud9, and they just continually found plays that were staying away from the super strong Gnar. Bottom lane ganks, mid lane ganks, taking objectives. It was very impressive.
And I think that's the thing that Isaac was talking about, where there's just too much focus on that top side, because while you continue to go top and you don't even execute that cleanly, Pobelter is going to start going elsewhere on the map, and he makes a ton of huge plays to get Doublelift ahead. And then once Doublelift's ahead, they have pressure in the mid lane, and they do a great job rotating to deny the 1-3-1 that should have been set up for.
Exactly, and if you are going to overemphasize top, if you are going to do that, you have to execute perfectly, right? You have to make sure there are no mistakes, there are no free kills given over, because you need to be converting on the Rift Herald, you need to be converting on turrets, and really creating a massive amount of pressure.
And again, you look at that gold graph, it looks incredibly lopsided, but 2.7K before 10 minutes as a team gold lead was actually one that we would a lot of times be calling insurmountable. And then it pales in comparison to the red side of the gold graph there, only because of what Team Liquid did once they got rolling.
It's such a fast game that usually if that increases that, you think that's 15, 20 minutes, but that's a pre-10-minute lead there for them.
And it was all focused almost on one guy, which is even more hard to kind of come back from, because you have this super powerful Gnar up on the top side.
Right, but let's now take a step back from the game itself and recognize what Team Liquid has just accomplished. The players on the stage, Doublelift, grabbing his 4th championship on a 3rd team. You've got Pobelter and Xmithie now adding to it with a 2nd team for themselves. I mean, all of these guys, Olleh picking up his 1st title in a region. This is a big moment for a lot of people. And to have made this statement based on all the criticism that was thrown their way leading into the split, it's got to feel good.
Especially because so many of them came from so many different backgrounds at that point, where Doublelift was getting kicked off TSM. You have Impact choosing to leave C9 G9 and showing that, like, I want to go somewhere else. And getting his first title after being with them for so long, like, it means so much to so many people.
Yeah, Doublelift has won 3 of 4 titles now. The one time he didn't win the title, he wasn't even playing in the LCS until the very end when he kept Team Liquid in the league, by the way, by going in for the promotion
down
tournament.
payment.
And his total playoff stats are insane. He has actually finished with the highest playoff KDA in the history of NALCS playoffs, 35.5 across the 10 games that he's played. 35.3, but basically the same thing. Absurd.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yep, there it is right there. Highest in playoff history. That's nothing to scoff at right there. Zale, more thoughts?
I mean, one of the coolest things to me about Doublelift's success is not just that he won championships on 3 different teams, but he was like the face of a lot of these rosters. He was a superstar on each of these
He's
teams.
not riding coattails.
Exactly. Like, he's not just along for the ride. He has been making waves and been one of the most dominant players on 3 different teams for so many years in the NALCS. And in a lot of ways, he is perhaps the most dominant North American player of all time.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to stop me, but I do feel like this is one of the most team-centric victories we've seen yet. Again, the idea that Doublelift and Olleh were rocks in the bot lane for these 3 games in a row. Pobelter and Xmithie dueling up together to roam and help everyone out. Impact absorbing so much pressure, bringing out the Singe pick in game 1 to make 100 Thieves think twice. I mean, everyone played a major role in this. That's without recognizing the support staff, as you see on your screens now, that's been behind them this entire split long.
Yeah, I mean, their organization is huge. They have so much help coming in, sports psychologists, chefs, the Alienware training facility that they've been talking about. Like, they are so invested in the scene, and you can just see that it's finally paid off, all that investment.
Very much so. In just a few minutes, we'll have the opportunity to talk to the 5 players that took the victory here today in such dominant fashion. We see the trophy being lifted one more time by Steve. Doublelift getting his shot at it as well. I love to see the smiles on the faces of all the players.
Yeah, and even just Xmithie, who I think has always been a soft-spoken almost leader for this team, especially with his play in games here. The fact that he controlled that jungle matchup for so much of it. They probably had something like 12 Drakes to 1 in this series, even when they didn't have some of the early game jungle pressure. He has been such a performer throughout so many years, but specifically in this series and this year.
All right, well, it takes a team to earn a championship, and every moving part was flowing perfectly to earn Team Liquid the title. But Finals MVP will be going to Pobelter for his performance here in Miami.
Azir, baby, he destroyed with this pick this series.
Oh my God, this play right here is beautiful.
I mean, it wasn't just his mechanical play, though. One of the things that really impressed me was he's laning against a Talia, he's laning against a Ryze, and he's roaming more than his opponent. This guy was everywhere and really a big factor in their win.
Yeah, so,
Right into the 4th shot. Right.
Oh, that's a highlight play. Like, that's going to be in montages for years to come.
I love it. That and the Rift
beautiful.
Herald 4-man stream of shuffle, especially to put the Ezreal back into the pit. I mean, it was a tough call, let's be honest. The voting came down to the wire there because, again, all of the members on Team Liquid did perform to a high level today.
At different points, everyone's shown. Like, Xmithie won them game 1, I think you can say, with that Baron steal. You have Doublelift and Olleh playing fantastic all series long, always winning their lane, never falling behind. And then, obviously, Impact up in the top side, having that singed in game 1, throwing them for a loop, and really doing just fantastic work all series.
Yeah, taking a look at those stats, those are pretty. I like the kill participation percentages, again, showing so much that it was a team effort and that their advantages came when they grouped up. It wasn't necessarily individual skirmishes in place.
And it's got to be vindicating for Pobelter. He's talked for so long about wanting to be recognized as one of the best, if not the best, mid laners in North America. It's not Jensen sitting on that stage. It's not Bjergsen. It's Pobelter.
They weren't even here today, man.
3-0 and getting that Finals MVP.
Well, it ties back into the beginning of the split where for a little bit of time we were entertaining Pobelter as a season-long MVP. He went through a slump, and then to come flying back in playoffs as dominant as he's been. I forget who I was talking to about. Another pro player was saying that he thought that Pobelter would actually get the series MVP before anything even happened because of how hot he was in scrims.
I can see all the players on stage getting mic'd up. I know you guys are antsy to hear from them. So are we. I want to know what kind of thoughts are swirling through their heads. I know emotions are probably running high and whatnot, so I promise that's coming your way in just a bit. Jat, any more thoughts on this Team Liquid squad, especially as we look towards now what is international aspirations? We got to remember, this is the team representing North America at MSI.
Exactly, and they are a worthy representative, especially with the way they played this playoff series. If the meta stays somewhat bot lane focused, if we get to have impact on those tank picks, I think they're positioned to be pretty good in that. We know how strong this bottom lane has been for them, and especially the way they had team play down the stretch. This wasn't just a superstar team winning every lane and winning the game. They were coming from deficits, and if anything, that's been their biggest strength this split.
Really hasn't, as you said. I mean, 9-1 in playoffs. They've left no doubt that they are the best team in North America. This is the representative you want if you want to see North American success at MSI. And I'm extremely excited to see how they're going to stack up against the world's competition.
Absolutely, a growth mentality for this team throughout the split. I remember about week 5, week 6, we saw or heard from Doublelift this idea that they had been practicing in one way, had to reorient the way they thought. And that was what propelled them into the playoffs in a state that honestly couldn't be matched by any other team, 3-0ing.
Well, especially when they, Doublelift had that interview where he's like, we've been trying a lot of stuff, but we're going to hone in on our play style that we think is our best. And then they did it. A lot of teams
right,
always
it's not
say,
just talk.
Yeah, a lot of teams say like, oh, we're going to figure it out. Don't worry, we got this under control. But they actually backed it up and played a certain way the entire way through the playoffs, and nobody could do anything about it.
I mean, we say that. You got to remember that the person behind them on the stage, that's Coach Kane. We've talked about, to a degree, his inexperience as compared to some of the other coaches in the North American LCS, especially when you're on the big stages, right, in the best of fives. And here he is helping pilot his team, give them the tools necessary to perform at such a high level.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of joking about it before the playoffs, how he had played best of fives in the promotion tournament, and he'd won all of them.
Right.
But guess what? He still won all of his best of fives because they just smashed through the playoffs. So the way they prepped for individual opponents in this, especially the bans they had in Game 2, where they themselves banned out Caitlyn and Xayah, those are bold calls to make in series like this, where the safe play is just to play for a first pick Caitlyn. But it worked amazingly well for them, and congratulations.
All righty, well, we have waited long enough. Now to hear more about the series from the victors themselves, let's toss it back over to the stage where Olleh is standing by with the new champions of the North American LCS.
Thanks, Stash. Guys, I am sitting with the victorious Team Liquid. Now, the first things first is the 4th meme is alive and well, since you guys are the 4th team to take home the NALCS championship title. Congratulations. Kane, I want to come to you first because I spoke with you before this match and it went exactly like you said. You guys came in confident, had a strong performance. I mean, these guys played so well, it looks like they're just making your job incredibly easy. What words do you have to say for your teammates, team members?
이제 선수들한테 얘기해 주실 거 있으시면은
일단은 중간에 시즌에 굉장히 힘들었고 우리 서로 되게 자신감도 많이 잊어버렸었고 우리 잘해야 되는 팀인데 왜 이렇게 힘들었을 때 다들 포기 안 하고 끝까지 따라와서 우리 결승 우승까지 해서 너무 고맙고 특히 피터 결승전엔 피터한테 특히 더 고맙고 굉장히 자랑스러워요.
Yeah, anyways, even though we had the struggles during the mid-season, the mid-split, we didn't perform as well as we expected, but we were able to overcome as a team, and then we were able to not give up, and then we came to the finals, and we actually won the finals, so I'm extremely proud of everyone, and especially for Peter. He performed out of his mind for the playoffs, so everyone.
Everyone did have a phenomenal performance. Impact, I want to look at you cradling the trophy in your arms right now. This is your 3rd time making finals and the first time that you're going home a champion. So what does this long-awaited win mean to you?
Can I speak in Korean because
Go for it, buddy.
Okay.
We got Dodo.
Sorry guys, but I just want to say 100% so.
You good?
일단 저번에 2016년 때나 17년 때 너무 저희가 이길 뻔했거든요. 제가 신앙에 있을 때. 그래서 그게 좀 아쉬웠었는데 진짜 아쉬웠었는데 이번에 팀원들이 정말 잘해주고 3대 0으로 가가지고 게임 깔끔하게 이겨가지고 이거 완전 신난 느낌 아닌데 진짜 좋긴 해요.
Yeah, so in 2016 and 2017, when I was with C9, we came really close to winning the finals, but I couldn't win the finals, so I was really sad. But with this team, everyone played really well. We won as 3-0. I don't want to say it was easy, but we played really well, so I'm really proud of my teammates, and I'm proud.
Yes, you did. You played incredibly well, but I want to point out one play in particular, Xmithie. That Game 1 Baron steal, I need to ask you, always pulling off these incredibly clutch plays in these high pressure and crucial moments. How do you keep your cool?
Can I talk in Korean too?
tough day.
You know what? If you want to hit Korean, I welcome it.
I think. Oh, I think just my mindset in general is just to stay neutral, whether if it's like really exciting games or like we're really far behind. I think that's just how my mentality goes. Like from, I don't know how long I've been playing now, but like, I think that's like just my strength, and sometimes it works. Sometimes.
Yes, it did. Pobelter, I want to come to you next. The first time that you took home a championship was actually with Doublelift, 2015, Madison Square Garden. Here we are 3 years later. You guys are reunited and you're taking home another championship. I mean, what does it all mean to you?
Yeah, actually, this felt really similar to the last time we won finals because, like you said, it was with Doublelift, it was with Xmithie. We kind of had a really good time going through playoffs, and we weren't meeting that much resistance. I got to play the same champion 3 times in a row. So yeah, it felt really good. Yeah, today I just woke up and I was like, damn, I think we're gonna win. I just felt that confidence.
Confidence gets you places, but I want to ask you a little bit, at the beginning of the split, we talked about you wanting to prove yourself as the best mid laner in NA, and kind of halfway through, I was asking you on your progress, and you said you didn't feel like you were quite there yet. Well, you're here now, you're taking home the championship. Where are you on that progress?
I guess I made it.
Yes, you did. Doublelift, I have you right next to me, so I'm just going to ask you the questions here. You are the first player to take 3 different teams all the way to the end and win the championship. I mean, what does this accomplishment mean for you and mean for your entire pro play?
Well, it's pretty nice, I gotta say. I remember when the subreddit Doublelift trophy case was just a meme. So, so yeah, I'm getting flashbacks to the first time I won actually on CLG. But honestly, I couldn't be here without my teammates. Like game 1 was really just about Jake's experience, Steel, and you know, when we go to MSI, the other junglers have no chance. And then, you know, game 2 and 3, I feel like just everyone played super well. Like game 3, Impact got totally screwed top, and he just didn't tilt at all. He was just super positive and just really communicating the whole time. And I think our team is just really solid. Like you can't take any one of us out of the game. And I think we just work so well as a team that it's pretty much nothing to do with me. I'm just a part of a great team.
Just a piece of the puzzle. Wanted to ask you a little bit about your expectations kind of going into the series against 100 Thieves. They had the 5-game series kind of coming into this final and going against your old buddy aphromoo.
I felt a little bit nervous because I felt like expectations were so high. Everyone was saying that, you know, like we're the favorites and we should win, but I felt like they were so good, and when we scrimmed them, their bot lane was really strong in practice, and they were beating us a lot, but then we went on stage and they played Caitlyn Thresh against Jhin Braum, and he went Dorn Shield, so I knew he won.
I want to rewind a bit. I believe at the beginning of the year you had a tweet. You're going to be the hardest working player in the league. Olleh says no. Olleh's wagging his finger, and I'm holding you accountable for it right now. Where are you on that?
I definitely didn't work as hard as I could. Olleh and Impact got the most solo queue games, the Korean mentality. They practice a lot. But I think everyone on the team puts in a lot of work in different ways, and like that's why we're so good. We came in, and the thing that was constant throughout the whole split was we practiced more than every other team, so we should win.
And when you did. Olleh, I want to come to you and pick your brain on that. First of all, congratulations on your first championship. Next up, Doublelift just got finished singing the praises for the entire team, but we know at the beginning of the split you guys had a little bit of difficulty kind of understanding each other. So how did you guys build that relationship into the successful bot lane that you guys have today?
I think when I played Braum during season, he just told me like, oh, your Braum is fucked up. Fine. I'm sorry. Fine, I'm sorry. He said my Braum is really terrible, and I promised him I'm gonna work on that because he told me like, oh, maybe you can just give up. You just play Morgan or Thresh. I don't care. And I was like, oh, just give me time, please give me time. And actually, his straight words were really good for me, because even though I'm good at some other champions, I'm still bad at some other champions. So I don't want to let him feel like I have to only play like some aggressive support. So I work really hard, solo queue, whatever, and watch VOD, whatever. So I think today my Braum was kind of fine. Yeah.
Anything to add?
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Well, kind of overlooking the performance today, Pobelter, how would you rate your team's performance today in this final match?
Gee, I guess like a 9.
Where's the one missing from?
Well, the games weren't perfect. I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but you know, it wasn't perfect. Like the game 1, we really won off the back of the Baron steal. So you know, they were in the driver's seat, and then Jake stole it back from the 100 Thieves. But yeah, just small things here and there.
Guess we all know who the real thief is. Xmithie, why are you giving me that face? Coming back to you. You guys are going to be the representatives for North America in MSI. What can the fans expect from you and the team?
I think the last MSI I went to, we were second place against, just like we got 3-0'd by SKT. But since SKT is not there anymore, I think we have a big shot at getting first place.
North Americans international saviors. Guys, again, congratulations on the win. Is there anything, I mean, look at this. You have had tremendous support from the fans all week and all split long. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the Liquid fans out here? Anyone, if you'd like to chime in.
I didn't know we had so many fans, actually. I guess thank you guys, because I felt like when I switched from TSM, I joined a less popular team, and we weren't performing well either. But now, it was one of the best decisions of my life. So thank you guys.
Kane, anything you'd like to add?
Okay, good job. Let's go, MSI.
Olleh.
I want to say thank you to Peter, because I don't know I can say that, but after we won against Echo Fox, Peter was not there. So like, even though we won, I was really sad. But yeah, but today I'm really happy Peter is here with us, and I don't know how to say. So I really respect him, and he's really great man. Thank you.
I think the words you're looking for is, I love you, Peter. But guys, congratulations again on your victory. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Olleh. Once again, Team Liquid winning in 3-0 fashion, our newest NALCS champions, and moving on to represent us here at MSI. You heard from Pobelter, he called the 9 out of 10 performance, leaving room for improvement. I like that. And Kane, ever the coach, looking forward towards that next tournament.
Let's go MSI.
Definitely, I understand where Pobelter's coming from, but you can enjoy it for a little bit. You don't need to go right back to the VOD room.
All right. Now, that said, I want to touch on a few things said during that interview. First up, Impact, talking about how while it was a 3-0, it was not necessarily easy. And I do think we have to tip our caps to 100 Thieves for the fight that they put up, for the performance that they laid out for their first split in the NALCS, finishing regular season as the first seed and finishing second overall.
And it really is one of those things where you look at the score, 3-0, it doesn't tell the full story, because game 1 really was decided, even as they were saying in that interview, by a Baron steal. If 100 Thieves secures that Baron, if they win that first game, you can be looking at a very different series. And you know that TL was taking them very seriously. Doublelift showing a lot of respect to how well their bottom lane was performing in their matchup.
Yeah, even the top side of the map in game 3, the fact that you heard Impact was down so much but kept a positive mentality, he had to do that because 100 Thieves was playing well.
And you want to talk about that mental fortitude. I got to ask the question, do you think it's even possible to tilt with Xmithie on your team? The way that guy talks about having the neutral mindset and being so calm, cool, and collected with the 50-50 Baron steals, man, I don't know. I feel like if I had his calming voice in my headset throughout the game, it might not be possible.
It definitely helps, especially when you have a Maokai who CS is getting doubled. You just had a terrible double kill at the top lane. You've lost your turret, and you're like, you're just communicating and you're still making plays with the people that are ahead. You're avoiding the guy that's behind. Impacts or Xmithie aren't the type of player who say, guys, I'm behind, you come gank for me. Like, please, you really got to come. They know what to do. And that's a skill that a lot of teams don't have, and you're going to need that. You're going to need that at MSI because there will be teams that bounce on you early.
Definitely will, and I just think it's these guys that have the mindset of always looking what is next, right? There's no point in focusing on, okay, great, things went wrong, but you can talk about that later. Focus on what is the next play, what is the next move, how do you win the game, and always having a laser focus on that is how you're able to actually find those plays across the map. Xmithie and Pobelter moving around the map, and all of a sudden the top lane deficit doesn't matter.
And a final point on that interview, Doublelift, Pobelter, and Xmithie. These were 3 of 5 guys who brought the first championship to CLG as an organization. They're 3 of 5 guys to bring the first championship to Team Liquid as an organization. But I think what's incredibly poignant is what Doublelift said, that he, just as much as anyone else on that team, is just one small part of a much bigger puzzle.
Yeah, Doublelift says that, and he says, he's just kind of here with his teammates, and that's what a leader should say. And I do think Doublelift is the leader of that team. They play through him. He's the strongest voice by far, and I love his growth as a person. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if they win, he's just like, yeah, I'm the best. I carried him. That's what he would think, and that's what he would say. But I think now he understands what teamwork is, how valuable his teammates are, and I think his leadership has grown so much.
There's a saying I really like, and I think it kind of applies to Doublelift, and it's when you're good, you'll tell everyone. When you're great, they'll tell you. Yeah. And I think that really does apply to Doublelift, growing and he doesn't need to talk about how good he is because that's what we're going to do. He had a 34 KDA through the playoffs. What is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's definitely a thing, too, where he had to prove himself over time because he did, for a while, like he said, have that empty trophy case where he got memed on pretty hard, and he had to fight in a relegation match before joining Team Liquid and kind of was a hired gun. His team actually did get relegated once, so this is a guy who has had his ups and downs in his league career.
And, hey, with no SKT, Xmithie says good shot at first.
Well, easy.
That's
how long do we have until
we hold him to that?
Hey, we got that on tape. That's recorded. You're going to be accountable to that statement later on in the year. Now, throughout the whole split, you at home have taken the time to call out the flashiest plays. And over the finals weekend, you did not let up. So for Miami, here are the LCS big plays brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, Trichromatic implores the teams of the NALCS. What have we learned about 50-50 Barons and Xmithie, guys?
Baron, 1/4 HP, very, very low. Xmithie wanting to go over the wall.
Oh,
He's got Xmithie with the steal!
Yeah, where's Sesh?
Right here, me. I can go. I'm the
Run.
And he gets out, too. You think when the blast cone doesn't hit him over, and then he has to dash into the pit, the fact that he procs Zap Shock, gets a smite, flashes out, everything worked perfect for that.
And then
steal.
the super calm. Run. Just everyone get back.
Very calm.
Save the Barons. Save the Barons. All right, next up, Paz Thales called out the hero of Team Liquid's Game 2, the young POB with the Shreem Shuffle.
Meteos turns on the Predator. Ryu swoops in from the side, and Xmithie, remember, has no flash to speak of. Taken very low. Knocked right back in as Pobelter comes over the Ryu wall. And now it might be Liquid, who's found 100 things in real bad spot. A 4-man shuffle finds them all, and Liquid finds huge success.
Just say it.
Okay.
Go. Go.
Nice. Barons are 20. Can we get this?
100 Thieves take down Xmithie, but Pobelter finds vengeance for his friend.
Pobelter quietly has probably one of the best Azirs in the world, definitely in NA, and his ults are so good. Like the top lane one, way back with Immortals when he got the 5-man ult, he had that one there. He had the one where he just pushed someone back into Doublelift's ult. His Azir ults always seem to have a huge influence in the game.
Well, he's heading to the world stage, so we can test
to
that theory when we get there. Finally, from yesterday's third-place match, Delta Razio put it simply. Dardoch is a lawnmower, and Clutch Gaming is a lawn.
Cyanalty coming across. There's also a Tom Kench coming around. Tidal wave again. Oh, he flashes over for a slow. He might be re-engaged upon, though. Where's the team coming across? Weaver's Wall coming down as well. It's going to be a giant team fight now. Solar ringing out pretty rapidly, trying to kite away, but he will drop. And then 2 kills already for Echo Fox. They're looking to add more to the tally. 3 kills already.
We can win.
Yeah, we can. TK no flash. Hitting Sion. Hitting Sion no flash. Sion and TK no flash. Nice. Kate.
Yeah, wipe them.
Go Kate no flash. No flash.
I think that was a very apt description. I mean, Dardoch was taking over the series yesterday.
Yeah,
without
that was
a
the
doubt.
close game. That was the closest game of the series. The other ones were more brutal.
Absolutely steamrolling through the competition there. Thank you for keeping up the tweets all split long, and I hope to see you delivering just as much fervor when we ship off to MSI. Now, with that, a reminder that signups for the NA Clash Open Beta start April 9th. Make sure you sign up so you and your squad can participate in League's new tournament mode April 13th. For more information, check out the landing page in the client tomorrow. Now, as we crown the champs, let's take one last look at the bracket Team Liquid had to get through to earn their first championship. Team Liquid took down Cloud9 and Echo Fox, the two teams who constantly battled for first place throughout the spring split, leading them to today's series against the #1 seed, where they vanquished 100 Thieves in 3-0 fashion. That means Team Liquid will be shipping off to MSI with the intent of making NA proud in the first international tournament of the split. Who will be joining them so far on the list? We have Kaboom, Gambit, Fnatic, Ascension, Direwolves, and EVOS Esports. A few more teams to be decided to be heading that way as well.
I am really looking forward and hoping we get to see Doublelift versus Reckless, because he absolutely smashed his own series today, playing that Tristana himself a couple times, and I would love to see the two Western AD carries compete for that Best in the West title we love to throw around so much.
Also really excited to see who's going to be coming out of the LPL and the LCK. IG and King's of Dragon X have been looking insane, so would love to see them face off.
And Jad, I think following this playoff run, we can pretty confidently say that we're sending the best NA team to MSI. There's no question about that, right?
Yeah, I agree. We can say that. And
do we know?
Can
we say it definitively and believe it?
Every year, we're like, all right, NA's got no chance, man. And then you see a team, and through the playoffs, you like talk yourself into thinking that they're going to smash.
Hope springs eternal.
They're going to smash Dash, clearly.
That's what, hey, we're going to smash.
Xmithie told us we get finals.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it, too, because these are all guys that have experience and have been there before. Like, Impact is always a high performer on the international stage, right? Pobelter, Xmithie, Doublelift have all been going to international tournaments for years now. Olleh went there last year, so hopefully they can learn from some of their past failures and have a better showing this year.
We wait on bated breath. Now, after we call it a day, make sure to tune in for a rebroadcast of the EU final played earlier today. But now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you, Miami, and thank you for watching. We'll see you at MSI. Good night.
Welcome to the 2018 North American LCS season.
No matter what, I just want to be 2018 champions, Echo Fox.
Aphromoo, he was known as the shot caller on CLG.
If anyone's going to break their legacy, I'd love it for it to be us.
The chase is on Xmithie at 200 HP, maybe a little bit more. The flash to double stun! Huge plays out of the bot lane, 4 kills to Liquid.
Off-season money well spent. Turning with one more bullet. Gets the crit and takes them down.
We were going to disband or implode. I mean, we smashed the whole league.
And it's really nice to see you guys again. 3 kills already for Azir. Ooh, onto the back line. This could be a penta. This could be number 4. This could be the penta. On towards Rain over the bind is there. Give it to him. He deserves it. And a penta kill for Fimavin.
We're doing our best to keep our heads held up high and trying to climb to the team that we know we can be.
Let's fucking go, baby! Yeah! Let's fucking go!
Finally won a game.
The smile on High's face says it all. Finally getting his debut, Fly. For a bit more damage, they will knock down Afro in time. Solo kill, top die, Impact goes down.
That was a game for LICKRish's career.
They may not see LICKRish anymore. He gets away, Skarner at the last second. What a play by Skarner. Power of Evil goes for Power of Evil. Deletes him.
Just hit. Sign hit.
And the next is so low, but so far away.
They aren't going down very quickly. Meteos
he steals it. 100 Thieves performing the heist of a lifetime.
I think if we lose one more game, we're out.
And CLG in last place will knock down the #2 team in NA. CLG are going to sweep the week, and their hunt for that playoff spot remains strong.
TSM, Team Liquid, and Counter Logic Gaming. One of them not going to make it, 2 of them will.
Team Liquid, they will have the hat in the ring.
The goal week 9, it's to deny CLG the playoff spot.
They pulled themselves back from a grim place in the standings, and TSM walk in playoffs.
We will have to play 5 games to settle the standings.
What a fight from Cloud9! Cloud9 finally end the losing streak. They will secure that 5th seed. TSM claim the 3rd seed in playoffs.
100 Thieves will finish in style your first place 2018 Spring Team.
6 teams, 30 players come into playoffs, and you only remember 5.
We always make it to the final, and we usually win, and that's a legacy that I'm going to try to upkeep this split.
Only the winners will be remembered. The first quarterfinal of the North American LCS, Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Liquid playing a phenomenal endgame here, 44 minutes, and once again committing for it.
Yo,
Guys, cancel top!
This could be the game.
They've got to bring Xmithie back in. Impact is here.
They've done it.
Kimono!
Yep, nice. Liquid, a clean sweep.
Killing spree for Sven as Clutch Gaming retreats back into the spawn platform.
TSM 3-0.
I'll be very surprised if Clutch Gaming wins this series. I'm going TSM 3-0.
I always like being the underdogs. If everybody's down on you and then you just win, it feels so much better.
Not able to find it on the Bjergsen, but the death sentence! Hakuo is a freaking monster this game!
Clutch are on the brink of doing the unthinkable.
Support's gonna be traded off. Clearance bomb is kept alive again! And Sejuani, true to his words, will end them today!
History in the making.
The end of the dynasty.
Today is the day that TSM falls. Team Liquid, Echo Fox, 100 Thieves, and Clutch Gaming. 3 of those teams have never been in playoffs before?
I said before the split began that we're going to win, and I'll do everything in my power to make it happen.
A pillar stops in Ssumday. Cody Sun is trying to use him as a damn shield, and it's working. Hakuo falls. The double kill for Cody Sun. 100 Thieves got the second one, but now we're going to game 5. It's 2-2. Clutch Gaming balancing on the thread that 100 Thieves is looking to cut. 100 Thieves from new organization to first place. Now right another heist.
I'm not interested in playing the 4th place match, 3rd place match, whatever.
Triple kill for Doublelift, a quadra kill for Doublelift.
I'm not interested in like perpetuating the Team Liquid 4th place curse.
They'll speedrun a playoff game and push themselves to Miami to play Liquid's first ever final.
I'm interested in winning and for people to remember Team Liquid was a team that somehow managed to dismantle all the favorites and come out on top.
Hello, Miami! We kick things off with 2 teams who fought against the naysayers all split long. Please join me in welcoming Echo Fox and Clutch Gaming.
Here comes Dardock, finds one, finds 2. Lear wants back in, looking for the play, will pull him into turret range, and will begin up crowd control. A flash out, and the re-engage Dardock is here. A double kill for Phoenix. Now on the top side, it's gonna be another kill.
It's a massacre, and this is gonna put an end to it.
A 3-0 sweep. Echo Fox will take 3rd place. Today, a new team will ascend to greatness.
It all comes down to this.
Impact Xmithie wanting to go over the wall.
Oh, he didn't make it!
He got it! Xmithie with the steal! Meteos through the side, now gonna be isolated himself, taken down. And Team Liquid could win right here. A double kill for Doublelift. And now it might be Liquid who's found 100 but a 4-man shuffle finds them all. The Liquid have done it twice so far today, and if they find one more win here, that will be it. For 100 Thieves, then some trouble gonna be taken even lower. Aphromoo already taken down. It's a double for Doublelift.